Hello, everyone. It is Dee Dee with Motivated to Soar. I'm trying to get some stuff going over here. Let's see. I'm coming, y'all. I'm always trying to do something on the back end. Okay. All right. And I'm live. Okay. Here we go, guys. Hey. What day is it? What day is it? It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, and we are going to talk about scammers. Scammers. How y'all doing today? We're going to talk about scammers. We're going to talk about some content, and we're also going to talk about travel. So we're going to talk about scammers, content creators, and maybe destinations, that type of thing. Yeah. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes and see who's going to join. Let me get my camera set up so it won't fall apart here. Trying to get it up and going so it does not fall. All right, guys. So hey guys, this is Dee Dee. Hope your day has been going well. Hope all is well with you. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about scammers because I went and pulled up my banking account and seen some fraudulent activities. I saw some fraudulent activities today. And the crazy part about it is that I really wouldn't even noticed it until I went out to, I was going to cash app somebody something. And that's how it came to my attention. Hello there. How are you? How are you doing today? How's your day been? Your day been okay? My day was, it was okay. Not the best, but I'm not going to complain. I'm not one to complain. So yeah, but I was talking about the fact that I was gonna cash app someone, and I went out to. It kept telling me that my card was being declined by my financial agency, and it kept saying declined. I'm like, why is it declined? Because I know I got money in there. Why is my card, being declined? Why can't I send this individual some money? And I was like, okay, well, let me go check the account. So when I went and checked the account, I seen one transaction that looked pretty odd to me. And I was like, what is this Walmart.com? I'm like, I haven't been to Walmart. I haven't been to Walmart lately. And I believe it had a September the 7th or the 8th date on it. And I knew I had not been to Walmart in some time. And I was like, where did this come from? And it was late last night. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna, drive myself crazy about it. I'll check it out tomorrow. So I logged in today, and sure enough, because when I checked last night, it was showing pending. So when I went back on today, it was showing that the amount had went through. So I called my financial institution, and I was like, hey, this charge does not belong to me. And when I gave him the amount, he was like, ma'am, he said, I just got off a call with someone about this same Walmart.com, and it was the same amount. Hello. And it's the same amount. I say, hello, how are you? Hope your day is going well. So it was the same amount that I had seen on my bank statement. And so he says, he started looking closer. He said, oh, I see what they've tried to make like five or six or seven transactions, and the bank blocked them, but one got through. The bank blocked the rest of them, but one they did let come through. And so he sent me over to the fraud department. So I went over to the fraud department, and the person was helping me out or whatever. And so he was like, okay, we'll take care of this. He said, we can send you out another card, or you can go to the bank and the bank will give you another card. I was like, okay, they'll give me a card today. He was like, yes. He says, because it's fraudulent activities, they'll give you another card today. So when I got to the bank, I noticed that it was kind of crowded. And I was like, for Tuesday, it's pretty crowded in here. Well, guess what? Other people had gone through the same thing and they were coming in to get a new card. And come to find out, they were not giving out more cards today. We have to actually wait because he said they had actually generated over 1,000 cards on yesterday. So there was some type of breach or some type of hike that had occurred with this Walmart.com. And yeah, so it had impacted many people. So that's what was happening. That is what happened to me today. And so I was not only inconvenienced once, I was inconvenienced twice, because one time with the money, another time with having to drive to the bank and not being able to get the card and gonna have to wait, another 10 days to get the card. But you know it is what it is. So it brought me to this topic. It brought me to this topic. Why do you think people choose to scam instead of getting a job? What do you think that's all about? Why do you think people rather scam instead of just going to work? Just go to work. I don't get that part, because the crazy part, I would think that if you are a scammer, a hiker, or something like that, you have a certain skill. You have that investigational skill. And then for you to have to go into through computers and that type of thing, I would have to think you would need to know how to do coding on the back end. So you could probably make some really good money. I would think you could make some really good money. So why even scam people? Why even take a chance of losing your livelihood and going to jail? Because eventually you're going to get caught and you're going to go to jail. But why do that? Why? What do you guys think about that? Why do you think people they rather just choose to scam instead of just getting a job? And by the way, again, my name is Dee Dee with the Motivated to Soar. So just having a little dialogue, a little talk. What do you think that scamming thing is all about? Instead of, just getting a 9 to 5, just going to work. What's up with that? What you guys think about that? Have you ever been scammed before? Now, this isn't my first rodeo. The crazy thing about it is that this happened to me maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. It wasn't with Walmart. It was another store, but I had some fraudulent activities on my card. And then it happened to me maybe about 12 years ago. I got a call from the bank and they were like, Miss Frazier, are you in Australia? I was like, I wish I was, but I'm not. And they were like, okay, because we seen that 3 transactions came through. One was for like $800, and then another one was for like $400. And then I think she said they started out with like a penny. Hi, Jessica. Hey, Tantrum. Yeah. And so they start out small just to see if money is available. And so that's how it occurred. So, yeah. So, I was just like, oh my goodness. Yeah. The first one was 800. They went through with 800. And so that's what the bank decided to call me, because typically, like, if I go out of town for a period of time, I do notify my bank and let them know. So they called me to see if I was in Australia. And the crazy part is they were like in a tool shop. They were trying to purchase, well, they had purchased a lawnmower. The lawnmower was $800. Yeah, it was $800. So yeah. But today, I was talking about today what occurred, when I seen those charges on my account from Walmart.com. And I put a post out on my YouTube thing telling people to look out for you guys to check your statements, because apparently there's some type of breach that's happening with Walmart. Because like I said, when I got to the credit union today, there was a lot of people in there trying to get a replacement card. So yeah, you just gotta really be careful. You gotta really be careful, and you should be checking your statements. And like I said, I wouldn't have known until I was trying to cash app somebody some money, and he kept telling me that my card was being declined by my financial agency, and I knew money was in there, but it was being declined. And I was like, what is this about? I'm like, why would someone do this? And like I said, this isn't the first time this has happened to me. So it just brought me to the question, why do you think people would take a chance on, scamming others as opposed to just going to work? And I know some people are going to say, well, they feel like it's a quick fix to get money real fast or whatever, but eventually you're going to get caught. And like I said, I just think that people who have that ability, I would have to think that you got to know how to use computers really well, you got to know how to do coding, that kind of thing. So I would think you would be able to get a really good job. I would. What you guys think? I mean, I would just think it would, just as easy as you can go and hack into someone's computer and take money, I would think you would be able to use those same skills and maybe get a information technology job. I don't know. I don't know. What you guys think? What you guys think about that? Have you ever been scammed before? You can make 80,000 a day. Some people just take chances. Yeah, you're right, Tantrum. You're right. It's a big chance, it's a big chance to take, which this brought me to, I wrote this down, y'all. It's not funny, but you know what I mean when I say it's kind of fun. It's a coincidence. I was watching this show the other day on Netflix. It's called Love Con Revenge. It's called Love Con Revenge. And it's about this lady. She was actually in this relationship with this guy. She had fell in love. She thought it was a relationship, but he actually conned her out of a certain amount of money. And she said, you know what? I'm going to go out and help other women who have experienced this. And I'm going to see if I can help other women to not, try to find out who conned them. Tantrum. People sell their souls for tattoos. I already know that they'll do that for that type of money. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They'll just take chances. But yeah, but this show on Netflix, Love Con Revenge, she meets up with, I'm gonna say, about 5 different women. And these women are sharp and they have good jobs. And one lady, the first lady she interviewed, she had met this gentleman, and he supposedly was over this mental health facility, and it was worth like 1.52 million dollars. So she did some checking, and she checked them out and that kind of thing. And well, let me give you some background on her. She had been divorced, and it had been about 11 years since she had dated. So her attention was on raising her kids. So her kids were grown. So she was like, you know what? It's time for me to get back out there and start dating again. Nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. So she was like, okay, I'm going to try this love thing. So she went out to the dating site. She got signed up and made a connection with this gentleman. And she was like, okay, he looked like he's pretty decent. He has something to offer. And they went on a few dates or whatever, and they kind of had a connection. And she was really feeling all bubbly, and she felt really good about him. So they started pursuing a relationship. And I want to say within 60 days, he asked her for $1,000. Now, to me, if you have a job, a facility, or whatever, you're the owner of this place, and you're worth $1.52 million. Why are you asking me for $1,000? That was the first red flag right there. But he didn't stop. She said after that, he came back for another 1,000. He came back for another 1,000, and then another 1,000. And I'm thinking, what's going on with you? But she said by then she was just so infatuated with him, and he told her, oh, I'm going to be having money coming in. You don't have to worry about it. I'm going to pay you back. And she just really believed him. She just believed him. And she was like, I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to go with it. Let me stop and read this real quick. I used to work with a dude that knew he was getting conned. any and still sending money and was always broke, and he worked 3 jobs and he knew the and that's kind of what happened to her. Hey Tina Moshow, talking about scammers. But you know what? And she said she had done got so into it. She said she was so involved with this guy, she didn't know how to pull herself out. And she said every time he would come to her and ask her for the money, she would just give it to him. And I'm like, you just got $1,000. You could just get somebody like that. Just, I mean, don't get me wrong. I could be sensitive to the fact that she hadn't dated in 11 years and now she's back in the routine. But I'm like, she just should have seen the red flags. She should have seen the red flags, but she just, didn't. She just didn't. And she just got caught up, and he just walked away like nothing. And so this lady who had been calm before, who was interviewing her, she was able to find this guy. He kind of snubbed her like, what's the problem, why you got a problem? It was just so crazy. It was just so crazy how people can just come into your life and take. And I always say there's two types of people, and I know we always say different things about two types of people, but there are givers and there are takers. There are givers and takers. People, either they're going to give or take. And some people will just take as long as you're dishing it out. You're just giving it out. That type of thing. And we just have to be ever so careful about who we allow in our space. But when you're talking about being scammed off of the computer, that's totally different. You don't even know this person. This someone who has come into space unauthorized to steal your money. So again, it's just different scammers of all types. So have you guys ever experienced being scammed? Have you gone through that before? Have your accounts been hacked into? Anything like that? Like I said, this isn't the first time this has happened to me, being, hacked into. Um, I got a little bit of money, and sometimes I ask people just to see if they will give me, because I know I'm going to bless some. Sometimes 10. Yeah. That's sad. People make me sick. Tantra say people make me sick. I got a little bit of money, and sometimes I ask people just to see if they will give me, because I know I'm gonna bless. Yeah, because you're constantly just to get. You ever experience going out and someone? It's not someone. It's typically the same person forget their wallet, their purse, or they don't have enough, or you order appetizers and this person is always, but they never offer to chip in, but they're steady grabbing for the food. They're grabbing for the food, but they're not trying to chip in or anything like that. Or if you've ever been on a trip with a group of people, it's always one person who's kind of shady. They always want to try to take advantage of the situation. I think we all done been there before. We know those individuals. We know those people. But I'm the type of person, if I give you something and you don't pay me back, I'm not going to ask you for it. I'm not. Because one thing about it, and two things for sure. You owe me. I don't have to come back and ask you for my money. You owe me, but I would never, ever give you money again. Ever. I will never ever give you money again. Now, will I feed you if you're hungry? Absolutely. Will I give you something to drink? Absolutely. But will I give you monetary? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm just not going to do it. I don't want to see anybody hungry, but I'm not going to be used. Because like I said, a person, they know if they owe you money. They know. People know. They know. Bouncing ounce of paradise. I tell those people Merry Christmas. Hey ounce. Bouncing paradise. My Cash App got hacked by someone named Hijack. They ended up giving me my money back though. Oh wow. Oh, let me tell you, I missed and sent money to the wrong person on Cash App. and I requested the money back, and the person, they sent the money back to me because I was like, hey, this was for someone, they just lost their mom. I was trying to send them money, da 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 da. The names are similar, and the person immediately sent me back the money. They did, and I was like, okay, cool, cool beans. But yeah, it's it's a lot of people out there who want to get something for nothing. They want to get something for nothing. Or some people may think, oh, well, he got it like that, oh, he's doing good, he can afford it, he's not gonna miss it, oh, she's doing good, oh, she got it from. What people fail to realize is, regardless of whether you have it or not, it's your money. It's your money. It's not their money. And people feel entitled to your money. You guys ever notice that? Some people feel entitled. That is exactly why I keep my circle small. I keep my circle small. Don't be coming over here asking me for nothing. I know who I need to give to. God is going to lead me and direct me on who I need to share with, what I need to do, but I'm not going to be used. I am not going to be used. No. And people, they thank you. They can just use you and walk all over you. So, but yeah, I just thought that would be interesting, about, talking about scammers, hikers, people who use that type of thing. And speaking of this Love Con Revenge, I was talking about Love Con Revenge, guys. It's a show on Netflix. And it was another young lady that was interviewed. She had met this guy and she fell in love with him. She had a lot of red flags. A lot of red flags. What he was having her to do, he was a surgeon, a medical doctor, and he wanted to open up all these different practices. But he told her that his credit wasn't good because he had already opened up a practice before and some things went bad, yada yada yada. He gave her this hard story or whatever. So she ended up going in, getting a loan. So she got one loan for like $200,000. Then some months down the line, after they got married, because they got married. After they got married, he talked her into this lavish home. She went and got the home, $500,000. Okay, $500,000. So now she's at $700,000. Okay, and it was one more, I believe. But yeah, he walked away like it was nothing. When she found out she was being used, it was crazy. You said dollars back. No. I had to laugh off of that one. But yeah, but to me, the red flag is when somebody is wanting you if you're in a relationship, you're married, and you're putting everything in your name, who you think they're going to come looking for? They are going to come looking for you. And sometimes people allow the illusion of love to get the best of them. I mean, nothing wrong with love. Love is love. Love feels good. All that great stuff, But at the end of the day, you are going to be held accountable with those lenders. And that's what she was left. And then the investigator went and found him. He had left the city they were in because they were in Miami. And his practice was in Miami. She was basically like a person who was biking it. So she had nothing to do with the actual day-to-day activity. He had hired in surgeons, people who, it was like a spa slash where you can go and get all these procedures done. And she should have known something else was weird about him as well, because his actual relative, she had a procedure done, and whoever he hired as the anesthesiologist, it went bad, it went wrong, and they had to have this young lady moved over to a hospital, and she lost her life. And she said the only thing he was concerned about, wow, this is going to bring bad business. This is going to bring in bad business. You weren't even concerned about your own cousin. It was his cousin, and she had 2 children. She left 2 children behind. But that's all he was concerned about. Wow, this is going to, have bad business. How am I going to get past that? And I'm like, lady, come on. But yeah, he left Miami and moved to Georgia, and they found him teaching at a university. Found him teaching at a university, and he had actually her daughter, she had two daughters. He didn't have any children. And so he went through this whole thing of getting their names changed to his names, his last name, because their father wasn't in the picture, and when he came in, they were younger, and so they just gravitated toward, this male figure, and they loved him, and they had it on film where when they show, he had on the shirt saying dad, and they was wrote him this card, and he just cried and cried because he was all in his emotions, about now having these two young ladies. But then you just walk off and leave their mother in debt, and then you just leave them. And then the daughter went to go and try to get an apartment. How about this guy? He had done tapped into her credit. She had over $8,000 on her credit. He had done that. That's why, like, people have to be ever so careful who they bring in their homes, who they bring around their children. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's crazy what people. We just live in a day and time where people, they just don't care. They just don't care. They really don't. It's crazy. And I'm like, wow. I know I'm just coming off with this wild, wild story today just because my account was hacked into. It just made me start thinking. I'm like, people just do some of the craziest stuff for money. For money. They just do the craziest stuff. And then just to meet people and deliberately, come in to steal from people and make people think you're in love with them and all you want is the money. That's a lot of effort. It just really is. It's a lot of effort. But like you were saying, Tantrum, some people know they are being scammed in these relationships, but they're just thinking, if I just give them one more dollar, if I can just I don't know if they think they can just you cannot buy love. You just cannot buy love. The person either like you as is or they don't. It's simple. It's just really very simple. It's like, how low do you have to go? You got to just tap out of everything. You got to give everything up. Hey, Jay, talking about these scammers, folks just scamming people. I was just telling them earlier about, I was trying to cash app somebody something and my card kept getting declined. And it's because my bank had shut it down because of this transaction through Walmart. And so they had made several attempts on other transactions, but the bank had blocked it. The bank blocked it, but one went through. And so they shut down the card and told me to go to the bank and get a new card. But the bank said they had over 1,000 people they had gave cards to on yesterday. So now we have to wait the 10 days to get the card. So it's just a big inconvenience. So, the question was, why do you think people do this kind of stuff? Instead of just getting a 9 to 5, they just try to scam. And then I was talking about this Love Con Revenge that's on Netflix. It's called Love Con Revenge, where this woman was conned and she interviews other women who's gone through the same thing. And there's been so many red flags. It wasn't just me. It was thousands of people, and it shows up on your account. I put a post out there on my YouTube thing telling people to check your account because it comes up as Walmart.com, Benningtonville, Arkansas, I believe. But it's not really Walmart. It's some kind of way this person has gone in and hyped it. So yeah, that's what they're doing. That's the scam of the month. And think about it. We're close to the holidays. So it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So you really need to be checking your statements. Just be checking go out there and check your accounts, browse over them and that kind of thing, Hey, Hey TJ, how are you doing? I'm feeling blessed today. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just talking about, how people scam and do some ugly stuff and just trying to get into people's head. What is that about? Stealing and just taking from people. And I was just talking about the fact that, it's two types of people. There are givers and takers. And I think we all can say we know people who are givers and we know people who are takers, and just being alert to that. And sometimes they can be in your own family, they can be in your own, your circle of friends or who you think are friends. And they're just constantly waiting on to see if you're going to pay, if you're going to pick up the tab, that type of thing. It's just really crazy. It is just really crazy, you just eating your dinner, reading. Yeah. So it's just really crazy, and we just really got to be mindful of that and not let people take advantage of us. Even family members. You got to be just ever so careful of that. People will just take advantage of you. Yeah, they'll just take advantage of you. So, have you ever encountered that? Have you ever encountered being, scammed online or taken advantage of when it comes to finances by friends or families? You say your family drains you. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And some people have a hard time saying no to their families, and especially if there are little ones involved. No one wants to see a child do without. I know my heart is going to be like, oh no, oh no, that baby needs some shoes, that kind of thing. Great topic you're getting into, warning people of the scams out there. Yeah, it's just crazy. Financial and family advice is a good thing. Definitely, definitely. And we have to just be so careful. And like I said, I will give you what I have, but once I give you something and you don't pay me back, I am not going to ask you for my money back. I am not. I am not. Because that shows character. It's one thing if you don't have it, but you need to communicate that to a person. You just don't come around a person like you don't owe them. You don't mention it. You don't say anything. You just can't do that. That's just not the right thing to do. It's all about character. It's all about character and how you show yourself, because I'm a firm believer. If you need that person one time, you're going to need them again. Don't burn your bridges. Don't burn your bridges. Yeah. Now, will I feed that person again? Absolutely, I will feed them. I will give them something to drink, but I would never give them money again, ever. I have been taken advantage of before by a scammer. People pretending to be in a financial distress to the point of homeless. Yes. Hey, real, how are you? Tantrum. I am the same exact way. I'm not asking you to pay me my money back. I'm not. I'm not gonna ask you. You know you owe me, and you look me dead in my face just like you don't owe me. It's the craziest thing. It is the craziest thing. Amen, sister. It's all about character. Hey, Miss Woods. Hey. Yeah, we talking about givers and takers. I just don't we were supposed to be talking about scammers and this and that. But you know what? People will just take advantage of you if you allow them to. And you have to show people how to treat you. You do. You really do. You have to show people how to treat you. And if that means by just cutting them off, so be it. And like I said, if someone I have if I've loaned someone money and they don't pay me back, that's fine. That's fine. I know not to ever lend you money again. But if you're hungry, I'm gonna bring you a meal. If you're thirsty, I'm gonna give you something to drink. But I will never give you money again. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just not going to do it. And we can't just be lured in because, oh, we're feeling so sorry for those individuals. They done got me so many times with that. So many times. People are blessed with the gift of giving, and they will take advantage of that if they aren't Christians. 10 of my experience. People will take advantage of. Period. Period. They will take advantage of you. Period. If you have a good heart. Period. They will use it to their advantage. And some people will just look at you and just assume, Oh, he got it like that. He got it. He's not gonna miss it. He can do without. Well, how did they think he got it? How did they think you came up with that money? They see you go to work every single day. You had to toil for that. Nobody didn't give it to you for free. But some people feel entitled to your money. They feel entitled to your money. And they feel like, oh, you're a bad person if you don't give it to them. They'll try to put that guilt trip on you. Oh, I'm going through a bad storm. You're always going through a bad storm. It's always storming on your street. Always. Y'all, we have to ask ourselves some hard questions. And I know it can be very challenging. Sometimes it's a huge sacrifice for someone to lend even $20. Come on now. You just said a mouthful right there. I'm sacrificing. You don't know what I have, but I am sacrificing to give this to you. And you treat me like this. And it's okay for us to get in our feelings, but don't get into your feelings to the point that you just lose it. You just know that person isn't for you. You just cut them off. Cut them off. You keep it. I'm going to keep more by cutting you off. How about that? I'm going to keep more by cutting you off. It's always storming on your street. That's right. Always storm. It's always raining on your street. It's always snowing. It's always hailing. You don't never have anything. Me and my husband was talking about, we were just having a discussion about, sometimes, if you are y'all, we are not giving to receive back. We're not doing that. But you mean to tell me, if I've done something for you time and time again, you never think to buy me a $1.25 card from the Dollar Tree when it's my birthday? Or if it's a certain, something's happening, say thank you. And we live in a day and time. Have y'all noticed that children, they don't say thank you? You do something for them, they don't say thank you. It's just kind of like they take it and move on. Have you guys noticed that? People, and I just be like, well, what just happened? Or y'all, I'm going off the topic now, but it's okay. We chatting. Have you ever noticed people don't say excuse me when you're in the stores? People are so rude. They do not say excuse me. Hello, Miss Do It Yourself. People don't say excuse me. They just walk in front of you. And I be like looking around like, what just happened? And am I not standing here? And I'm like, what's going on? It is so crazy. I always say the same thing. They take. Yes. It's something else. It is something else. And I have a really close girlfriend, and she's very direct. And she'll be in the store. She'll be like, excuse, you didn't see me? And I'd be like, oh Lord. She be like, you didn't see me standing here? You excused? And I'd be like, oh Lord. But you have, hey, we just live in a really, really weird world. We live in this kind of world. It's crazy. That is crazy. I find more older people are rude as well. Oh. So rude. Y'all, true story. Our old home, where we stay on a corner. And guess what? That corner was a bus stop. It was a bus stop. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about my husband. It was a bus stop. Y'all, the kids that would be outside cursing, oh my goodness. I mean, they were using the big words. You hear me? They would be out there cursing. My husband would go out there. I'm like, don't go out there. Leave them people, kids alone. He was like, they're not going to be out here cursing like this. He will go out there and say, hey, y'all got to stop all that cursing out here. And I was like, babe, you can't be saying anything to people, kids. He was like, they are not going to be out here just disrespecting like that. I'm like, oh my goodness. But yeah, old people really, they get me. Hey, not only that, y'all, and no, certain people, when they're like in wheelchairs, they are really mean and aggressive too. Really mean and aggressive too. So I'm always saying to myself, Lord, as I get older, don't let me be mean. I don't want to be mean to people. You know, we always got to be mindful of what we're saying, how we're treating people. Y'all, we would go to the football games. Those kids would cuss right in front of us. They wouldn't blink. They would be looking like, what? You better not say nothing. And my husband would. Watch your mouth. He was like, watch your mouth. Oh, he used to make the girls, he was like, y'all are young ladies and you're cursing like that. You're cursing like that and there's other adults around. You guys are 15 and 16 years old and you got a filthy mouth like that. But apparently nobody was telling them that. Or they felt bold enough to do it around their friends. It's just crazy, right? Some of these kids are different and the parents uphold them. Oh, absolutely. I got a cousin who works she was a school teacher down in Atlanta. She's back in Monticello now. But hey D'Angelo, how you doing? But yeah, she's a school teacher and she says that one of her students came in and you're not supposed to have any kind of headphones on or anything like that. And she says this young man, he had on his headphones, not paying attention in class, and she said she had asked him to take them off. And she said he wouldn't. And so she confiscated them. She was like, you would get these when your parent come pick them up. So she said he left the room, class was over or whatever. So she said she was sitting at the desk grading papers and she said that she could look out the window and she saw this very nicely dressed young lady getting out of her car. And she was like, she said she just happened to see her and she said she looked back down and started grading papers. She says, well, a few minutes later, that same woman was in her classroom. It was the young man's mother. She came to pick up the headphones. She said that lady cursed her out so hard. She was like, do not ever take anything from my child. Now, first of all, your child wasn't even supposed to have that in the classroom. But for you as a parent to come up there and use that kind of language, and one thing about the school system, you really can't say anything. You know, now when they start getting really kind of violent, you can bring in the police, security, that type of thing. But they tell you you're not supposed to have all that bickering back and forth. She was just like, girl, I could not believe how that lady talked to me. She said she couldn't believe it. Yes, it'd be doing tattoos and the kids be talking to their moms crazy, tell them to shut up. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what kind of parents they got. I just don't know. I do not know. I had a fear for my mom. I wasn't afraid of my mother, but when I say fear, a respect level. There is no respect whatsoever. And like you're right, I've heard kids curse at their parents in the stores. And are they calling them by their first names? And I mean, looking around, I'm like, well, what's happening here? I'm like, what is going on? But a lot of things have changed in the homes. The parents have changed. It's not so much it's the kids, it's the parents. It's like the parents are afraid of their children. It's like, y'all, come on, step up. Step up. These kids need some structure. And then you send them off to school and you expect the teachers, administration to handle your kids. That is not their duty. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but my mama, gosh, my mom used to be at every PTA meeting. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Lady, you don't have to go to PTA. Oh, yes, I do. My mom was in PTA every time they had a meeting. You don't see that these days. The parents, they're not showing up. My girlfriend was talking about how it's one young man, he plays ball And she says there's never anyone at his games to support him. Now, think how he feels as a child. He's out here trying to do something positive and stay out of trouble, but there are no adults to cheer him on. And don't get me wrong, I know kids, I know parents gotta work, that type of thing, but there should be an auntie, a uncle, a cousin, somebody in that stand to let that child know you have some kind of support. It's crazy. It is crazy. Bro, you got to clean your own room, and it seems like they get to hear it from the outside, but why tell mom like that she's the one that's helping you? Right. I'm doing good at work right now, D'Angelo. Miss Do It Yourself. Wow. Grooming him for failure. Right. Hello. Tantrum. I would have told her respectfully that's why your kids acts the way kids does because of what you teach. That's why they act the way they do. Absolutely. Apple bar orange. Creative living. Hey, creative living. These little dudes are 14 years old and they got guns. It's y'all. We gotta be praying for our kids. We really do. We gotta be praying for our families, our children. Hey, it is so much going on. I don't know how we went from scammers to this, but hey, this is some good conversation. Because you know what? It all starts in the home. Everything starts in the home. And I'm gonna be honest, we didn't have all these problems when we had smaller homes. I hate to say that. It's like when we were all in, a two-bedroom, but as we started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, parents started spending more and more time away because why? They got to pay for the bigger homes, but nobody is home with the kids. Nobody is checking. They're not going into their bedrooms. This is my room. I get some privacy. Where you get privacy from? Where? I am talking in the phone, so it's catching some of the words wrong. It's okay. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're trying to convey. I get it. I get it. Um, but yeah, it's like we don't have any family time anymore. Families aren't sitting down anymore. We don't have um like the big family reunions and just getting together, Thanksgiving and all that stuff. It's just crazy. At 14 years old, only like 3% of the kids know how to actually think. Absolutely. It was something I was reading about. They were saying how children are now so dependent on their parents that, and we're talking about like first graders. First graders, it's things like little small things they should be able to do on their own. They can't. Second and third graders, certain things they should be able to do on their own. They can't. They can't. It's like they have been crutched. They can't. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just a lot. It's a lot going on. Y'all, I suppose I have been talking about scamming, content creation, travel and inspiration. I just don't went on a tantrum. See how I did that tantrum? I just done been all over the place, but it's okay. It's cool. It's okay. Yeah, but sometimes we just need to talk about this and just kind of hear what everybody else is seeing and experiencing and the rudeness of it all the rudeness that is happening. You notice how people they're so rude with their driving and so aggressive on the road. And my husband tell me all the time, he like, girl, you belong in the right hand lane. Stay out of that left hand lane. You just stay over in the right hand lane. I'm like, you don't have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me because these people will run you over. They will just flag you down and they ride your bumpers. Even if you're in the slow lane. I'm like, where is everybody going so fast? What is happening? I'm like, what is all this about? And me and y'all are the worst. Y'all are the worst when it comes to driving. Y'all, I'm like, slow down. Because I tell my husband to slow down all the time. I'm like, slow down, babe. You don't have to be first in line. You don't have to. They got to get out of this lane. It's so much aggressiveness on the roads. Just so much aggressiveness on that road. So yeah. Slow down, y'all. Slow down. Slow down. So I am gonna talk about YouTube. I want to know how, for your small content creators, how is everything going? Just what's working for you guys? I have been doing more lives lately. Go back to your video description when you get off here and add. I know, right? I know, right? I'm gonna have to modify that title because I went all the way down the line. So, but yeah, guys, what's happening? What's going good for y'all with your content creators? What's working good for you guys? Anything? Have you guys been doing more lives? I have been going live in the mornings, early. I've been getting up like 3 o'clock, doing 3:30 lives before work, that kind of thing. Trying to get myself in the flow of trying to go for an hour. Trying to go for an hour. So I said for the month of September, I was gonna challenge myself to do 30 days for an hour. Now, after September is up, you more than likely will not see me going an hour every day. But I am going to challenge myself to do this. Yeah, right. Women would be turning the music on full blast and going 50 miles over the speed limit, especially when they mad. So, have you guys been doing more lives? Do you have plans to do more lives? Your channels, are you are you guys noticing a change with your channel? Are you feeling more comfortable in front of the camera? Are you guys feeling more comfortable in front of the camera? Are you having a steady flow? As you guys know, I always have notes, and it's okay. You got to do what works for you. I have notes, but once I get in my flow, I start going. But I do like to have a topic, and I'll just start talking from it, and I'll just keep going. But yeah, so yeah, so D'Angelo, I noticed you do your little lives on your breaks, which I think is good, and you have some really good topics. You always come with some really good discussion. Tantrum, of course, you do. Miss Woods with your hauls. I mean, so everyone is really doing a good job. I just wanted to see what you guys were feeling like moving forward. Do you have any goals for September around your content? Any of you guys? Any goals you got set for the month of September? Uh, so I haven't did no content in weeks. Yeah, I noticed that Tantrum. I was like, what's going on with Tantrum? I went over to your channel. I was looking for something new. But you have so much content out there that, I can go and look at some of your old stuff and still be pulled in and engaged. So, yeah. So I get it. I get it. I get it. I definitely get it. So, yeah, I'm just trying to keep this flow going, trying to get accustomed to talking for an hour if I can. If I can't, I won't, but I'm trying to push myself. And then I'm trying to have set days that I go and look at other content creators. So I try to have like 2 to 3 days that I just go look and respond. Go look, review, respond, that kind of thing, to let people know that I'm still engaged, that I'm checking out their content, that kind of thing. Because you can't get to everybody's channel every day. And I think people don't have that expectation for you to do that. I would think they wouldn't, because there's so many content creators out there, you know, and so you have to find, like we say, you find your tribe. Your tribe will find you, that kind of thing. So, but I do like to go out and support. I do like to go out and support that type of thing. So yeah, that's important. That's important to me, just to go out and do that, and just let people know, hey, I see you, I hear you. I'm checking out your content. I think it's good, or whatever, that type of thing. Try to catch other content creators' lives, and just trying to support where I can, when I can. So that's really important. So yeah. So that's what I've been doing so far. So just trying to keep motivated, trying to stay motivated, trying to stay energized, trying to stay on top of things, especially for us who work full time. It can be a lot. It can be a lot. And making sure you don't get overwhelmed and burned out, because I'll tell you in a minute, sometimes I take off 2-3 days, I won't even log into YouTube. If it gets to be too much, I'm like, okay, I need to shut the laptop down and be done. And like if I upload something, I'll shut it down. I don't go by trying to check and see how many people looked at it. Because in the beginning, when I first started, y'all, oh my God, I was checking, how many views did I get? Did anybody view it? Then you go and check and it's only 2 views. I'm like, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So I had to gradually pull myself back from doing that kind of stuff, because it was really, it was driving me crazy. It was driving me crazy, so you definitely want to keep the creativity going. You definitely want to keep showing up for yourself, but you don't want to get overwhelmed. So you got to find that happy medium. You got to find that balance. Balance is going to be so important. Don't be so in tune with YouTube that you forget your family, that you forget your other obligations, that you should be doing other things. So it's just so important that, you got to find that balance. You got to find that balance, because if you don't, it'll just take over. It's just like with anything else. You guys ever started working out and you find yourself working out all the time? You like, wait a minute, I can't be riding this bicycle 24 hours, 7 days a week, because it's new to you. It's that newness. And so now you're trying to just stay on top of working out every day. And then the next thing you know, you done burnt yourself out. So you don't want to burn yourself out. So it's the same thing with YouTube. You're just constantly on the computer. You're just constantly with these likes in your face. You got to have a time where you shut it down. I know my time for me is like 9 o'clock, because I'm up so early. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, and it's what, 7:15. So my body needs to start coming down. I got to start coming down. So I got to turn off the computer, the cell phone, everything. 9 o'clock, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for me. It's a wrap. So even if I'm not asleep, all electronics, I'm shutting it down. Now, maybe if it's like a Friday night or a Saturday, or if I have a day off the next day, I might be up or whatever. But for the most part, I try to keep myself in a routine and just start shutting things down, because I just can't be in front of that screen all day, because I already work from, I work on the screen from home, so I'm constantly looking at these bright lights all the time. So yeah, so you got to find out what works for you. You got to find out what really works for you, and finding that balance is going to be key, especially for us that have, we have relationships. Your partner is going to be like, what are you doing? You're a content creator. They're not a content creator, and you have to remember that they are not a content creator. Your kids are not content creators. You got to make sure you're spending time with them. We got to make sure we're having, hands on. So again, just having that balance. Y'all, it is so nice outside. It's like a little cool breeze coming through. So yeah, I'm gonna throw on my tennis shoes and walk around the block a couple of times before it gets dark. But yeah, I have really enjoyed you guys hanging out with me this afternoon, and y'all gonna talk to me until I get to an hour. Yes, y'all gonna hang right on in there with me. We done got this far. We gonna take this thing all the way on out. We gonna move it all the way on out. So, but yeah, this was a good discussion. I enjoyed it, and like Tantrum said, I need to go and change my title, because I did talk about content creation, and I did talk about the scammers. I didn't get to the travel. I was going to talk about travel and inspiration. I'll save that for another day. I'll say that maybe for one of my lives for next week. We'll talk about travel and inspiration, that kind of thing. But Yeah. So for you guys who don't know, I am Dee Dee with Motivated to Soar. Go over to my channel and check me out. You're gonna get a lot of inspiration and motivation. I'm gonna give you a word from the Word of God, not from me, from the Word of God. Hey, you coming in at the end, lady? How are you? How's your day? We've been talking about a whole bunch of stuff. We just been chit chatting about a whole bunch of stuff: scammers, hikers, kids acting crazy, old people being rude. Oh, you've been here, you've been listening. Okay. Yeah, so I was just kind of all over the place with my agenda today. So yeah, so just talking about balance and that kind of thing. I've been enjoying your channel and I've been enjoying Levi. Y'all go over and check out the WSFN channel. Go out there. Her editing is ridiculous. I mean, you be bringing it. Uh oh, y'all, I done hit the thing. It's shaking, shaking, shaking. But yeah, go out and check out her channel. It is really good, very encouraging, inspiring, all those good things put together. I got here when you was talking about, yeah. Well, I wasn't scammed on Cash App. It was my bank. I was trying to send some money via Cash App. Yeah, that's what happened. That is what had happened. So, but thank God it was all taken care of. The money, the bank, put my money back in the account, that kind of thing, and closed out that card. And it's just an inconvenience. People are just ridiculous these days. It's just crazy. But guys, yeah, I've talked for an hour, so I'm good and tired. But I want to thank you guys for coming in and chiming in with me, and we will be talking soon. Of course, catch my replays because I know I'm up early in the morning doing my videos now. I've been doing lives really early in the morning, around 3:15, 3:30 in the morning. So if you can, remember, go out and check out my lives. I appreciate it. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.